promised one of my subscribers that we will get our certification together. I did graduate, but I did not take my test yet, only because I had so much going on and things like that with the passing of my son. So right now it's downtime. I'm at work. I'm studying. I'm catching up and just rereading things and kind of like refreshing my brain so that I can pass this test. I only failed by 2 points. So yeah, I'm just trying to refresh everything. And it's not that I didn't know the answers. I didn't have enough time. So time spent is a lot when it comes to taking your test. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I did print off some of the tests after I took it, so I have some of the problems that's on the actual test along with the answers, so that I can share that with you guys later. Also, what I'm going over are the most important things first, and things that I feel that I have to remember, medical terminology, the body's functions, and just like positions that you put patients in, things like that, and equipment and tools that we use. Those are the most important things that you will have to remember. Everything else should come to you a little bit naturally. Some things that's really common in this field right now, working in urgent care or emergency department, or even at primary care, is the Strep test. So reading through that thoroughly, or just having that work experience, will help you get through the test. The tuberculosis test, that has been common. So reading over that and kind of taking the intake of your job or work perspective. Pregnancy testing, that's something, if you have kids, you really know about, so you don't really have to go over that. Stool collection, we kind of did that in clinicals, and it's hard to kind of forget. Mono liver function test, renal function test. I'm big on renal, so that's like easy for me. Renal is my major study. Other things that I think is kind of like common sense are vital questions and kind of like math questions that we have learned throughout our life. Patient identification, consent, that's kind of common sense. When it comes to questions that's asking us what kind of information do we need from a patient, that's pretty much common sense. But I just say kind of read this book as if it's one of your favorite books, and then go over it with the things that you feel will be hard for you to remember. That's what I've been doing. Ear irrigation, eye irrigation, that's pretty much the same in a way. So, always wash your hands, always use gloves. We know that. Keeping things sterile, we know that. So yeah, I'm just going over things that I already, read about or that I know about. I'm just going through the things that I feel like I would forget during the test, maybe. Also, I'm going to share some of those questions that's on the test with you shortly. So right now, I'm just going to continue to study during this downtime, and then I'll be back with you guys with some of those problems that I printed off the actual test. Something that I really thought stand out, it was one of my co-workers' go away party. But something that I thought really stood out to me on the test was the phlebotomy part of the test. It was really detailed, really in depth. Anything you have learned about phlebotomy or have forgotten about phlebotomy, you need to go back and study that, only because it talks a lot and it asks you a lot of questions about phlebotomy. We're still going to go over a few questions, but at the end of the day, I'm still working and I'm trying to cover my thing. I got a paper clip right here. But yeah, so working in urgent care is quite challenging for those of you who are interested. This is just my way to get myself in the door of an emergency room, only because it is urgent, I thought. But I got so much to talk to you guys about as far as my career path. I went the wrong direction starting with medical assistant, but I wanted to go ahead and finish that degree because I already had it under my belt. But I was supposed to start with CNA. So that's what I was supposed to do, but we're going to try to go straight into nursing. So we're going to pass this test first, and then we're going to be studying for another test, which is the TEAS test. Once again, I don't really remember too much about the TEAS test because I never really studied for it. I just thought it was just a test for the college to see where I was at, as far as, mental. But yeah, so let me get back to work. I came in here to get me something to drink and talk to you later. Questions. There are questions on the test about the eye. So reading parts of the eye is very important. The questions on the test are very, very tricky when it comes to the eye. You can have the same answer for different questions. So it's very important to really read and pay attention to what you're reading when it comes to part of the eye. The book that I am reading is this book that I got off of Amazon. Give me 1 second. I didn't want to lose my page, but I already lost it. And they have them for all type of other tests, the phlebotomy test, the CNA test. I also want to get one for when I go to school for nursing. I also wanted to get a few things for nursing school, as far as like these calendar books and these like study books from other women that have became successful after being nurses. becoming nurses and stuff. They created a book to help other nurse students study and become successful. So be checking out, Amazon for those study flashcards, study books, study questions. You can also pay for a study exam if you want. At the end of this book, there is an exam. I don't know how fair the questions are compared to the actual test, but it's worth a try. So I do have this paper here. This paper is some of the questions that I had from the test. This is the registered MA test, just for the certification. Even if you're certified or if you have your bachelor's degree, associate's degree, you still have to be certified. Some jobs require that certification. Sometimes it's optional. You're still considered medical assistants if you have your associate's degree and your bachelor's degree. But without that certification, most jobs won't give you that opportunity. So I just wanted to give you guys that head up. And that's just as a registered nurse. You can be registered, but you still have to take an exam and be certified. EMTs, CNAs, you're certified. So it's not really a concern about getting that certification because that's actually what you're going for. So sometimes it's kind of pointless when you can be a certified nurse or a certified LPN. Why go get that associate's degree or that bachelor's degree? I mean, it speaks for itself because you probably get paid more and have a little bit more of extensive learning, but that certification is still needed. So, like I said, I'm going to go over a few of the questions that's on the actual test and give the answers to them. I can't go back and print off more because I would print off the whole test if I could. Only because it only gives you that option to review your test after you take it. So when I was reviewing the test after I took it to see the things that I did wrong and what I could have got right with the limited time that I had to still pass without enough time, I decided to print it off while it was on my screen. So don't call me a cheater, but hey, it's gonna get me through. I did the work, you know what I'm saying? So I just need the help and the verification for myself. I prepared myself for a situation like this because I actually started working as a medical assistant before I got certified. So it's time for me to get certified so I can get a better position and move forward with my career. So one of the problems that's on the test is stating a patient must have paid $400 per year before medical insurance will begin to cover any expenses. Which of the following terms describes this payment? Premium. Premium explains that payment. Um, so this is a part of the administrative procedures. So a lot of administrative procedures are on that test. So make sure you guys keep up with that. Here's another question. Which of the following terms describe calling an insurance carrier to determine if medical procedures are covered under a patient's health insurance policy? Pre-certification. Pre-certification is the answer to that question. Which of the following pieces of income mail should be delivered directly to the physician unopened? And that is confidential. Confidential should not be open. Anything confidential should not be open. When a patient fails to keep an appointment, the medical assistant should document the failed appointment in the patient's chart. They should document the failed appointment in the patient's chart. Everything should be documented in the patient's chart. Everything. And I didn't want to be a spoiler and have everything in this one video, so I was going to make another video and have more questions in those videos for you guys. So I'm going to just do a few more and then I'm going to end this video here because it's getting pretty long and I do have to continue my work shift. And let me try to find something else other than the administrative part of the test. Give me 1 second. A lot. And then they also have a lot of stuff like this on there, like identifying instruments. And asking you like forceps are used to, what are forceps used to? Hold tissue, or hold drapes, or close incisions, or retract tissue. It's to hold tissue. To hold tissue. That's what forceps are for. To hold tissue. Autoclave. Make sure you guys look at the autoclave. Deep into autoclave, because them questions are very, 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 very tricky. Like this one, the autoclave chamber door is slightly open at the end of the autoclave cycle to prevent contamination. That's tricky because the autoclave is to prevent contamination, but that's not the answer to this. The answer to this is to allow the items to dry. The other one says to release the steam. It does release steam, but that's not why it opens. Avoid the pressure buildup. That could be true, but that's not why the autoclave opens. It opens to allow the items to dry. I'm gonna do a few more and then I'll be done. Another autoclave question. Sterile field rules include all of the following except A. Talking over a sterile field should be kept to a minimum. B. Sterile team members do not need to face each other. C. Always keep the sterile field in your view. And D. Non-sterile person or items should never cross the sterile field. Many ways that these can be true, but very tricky. Sterile. The answer to this question is B. Sterile team members do not need to face each other. We don't have to be face to face to sterilize these instruments. Okay. According to standard precaution guidelines, personal protective equipment must be worn whenever there is contact with. Come on now. This is the first thing we learn in the medical field. Blood. Protect yourself around blood. Protect yourself around blood. Protect yourself around blood. The destruction of all microorganisms is essential for surgical. The method often used in this medical office that completely destroys microorganisms. Sterilization. That's the number one thing to destroy microorganisms. Sterilization. Stay sterile at all times, guys. Everything should be sterile. If it's unsterile, throw it away, start over. Unsterile, throw it away, start over. Active listening is very, very important in the medical field. We knows that. We definitely knows that. That is the type of listening that is highly recommended for healthcare providers and patients in communicating needs. It involves participation in a conversation with others by means of repeating words and phrases or giving approval and disapproval. So that's important. You don't want to misinterpret something or misunderstand something, and everything is screwed up from then, especially if it's entered in the medical records. The outer layer of the skin is the... I'm going to let you guys answer that question. Comment down below the answer to that question. The outer layer of the skin is the... We're studying together. We got a few more weeks. I got a few more questions. I have all of these questions for you guys. That's on the actual test. Like I said, I have that actual... that book that I ordered for your certification. It's a practice test in the back. We're going to go over all of that. I just wanted to let you guys know this is day one. Pull them books out. Get that brain ready. Drink your water. Eat your breakfast. Get some sleep. Let's study. Let's get this over with. I got into August. I don't know about you guys. Comment down below. Let me know how long you got to get your certification out the way. And let's get this career, build on a build up. Let's walk the ladder. Let's get more knowledge in our brains. Let's, get your degree. Go, girl. Focus on me. going to end this video saying right patient, right medication, right dose, right time, right documentation. And from now on, as I'm studying, I'm going to write down the things that I want to mention to you guys. Reading this book today, I just felt like everything in this book is so important, especially for your internship, whatever boots you or fits you. These things are very important. I just remember freezing up at my externship, forgetting a lot of these things. Study every day. Study while you're in internship. Study when you get home, before you go, the night before. Just study, and until you're actively working in the field. Just study, because all of this stuff is literally things that we do every day. So I advise you guys just to study. It's not too bad. It's 200 pages, but like I said, it has a test at the end of it. But just study, and I wish you guys good luck, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video, and I'll have more tips for you guys in the next video. Let's get it.